Imagine stepping into a world where change doesn't take months or years, where transformation is measured not in how deep you dig into the past, but how vividly you can imagine the future. This is the revolutionary promise of solution-focused therapy. But to understand its power, we need to travel back to the origins of an idea that broke away from traditional therapy and redefined what healing could look like. Welcome to the roots of brief therapy. In the 1970s and 80s, the field of psychotherapy was dominated by models that focused on diagnosis, pathology, and long-term treatment. Therapists were often explorers of trauma, sifting through years of memories to uncover patterns and causes. But in a small, quiet building in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, something radical was taking shape. It began with a team led by Steve DeShazer and Insoo Kim Berg. Both trained in traditional systems and family therapy, they became curious about a different question. Not, why is this person stuck? But rather, what helps people get unstuck? They observed countless hours of therapy sessions, not to find what was wrong, but to discover what worked. What moments created shift? What questions sparked hope? They listened, they watched, they refined. And what emerged was a revolutionary principle. The solution does not depend on understanding the problem in detail. Instead of dissecting dysfunction, they focused on amplifying success. Rather than tracing the origins of pain, they highlighted exceptions, moments when the problem didn't happen. This approach became known as brief therapy, not because it rushed, but because it respected time. It believed that real change could happen in a few sessions, sometimes even in one. Steve and Insoo began developing specific techniques: scaling questions, the miracle question, exception seeking, and future-focused dialogue. They found that clients responded not just with insight, but with motivation. They moved forward often faster and more confidently than anyone expected. This was more than technique. It was a philosophical shift. It was the idea that people are not broken, they're resourceful. That language shapes reality. And that the therapist's role is not to diagnose or fix, but to co-create change with the client. The Brief Family Therapy Center became a laboratory of innovation. Their work spread rapidly, not through flashy promotion, but through results. Therapists around the world began to ask new questions, adopt new language, and rethink what therapy could be. What started as an experiment in a modest setting became a global movement. And that movement laid the foundation for what we now call solution-focused brief therapy. Today, in a world shaped by complexity and urgency, the wisdom of those early pioneers is more relevant than ever. Because sometimes the most powerful transformation begins not with a deep dive into the past, but with a clear vision of a better future.